How are all of you lovely people doing today? My name is John, and welcome to a beautiful zombies commentary. Today I would like to discuss something that is near and dear to my heart, the Ray Gun Mark III. A little while back, I made a video discussing the possibilities of the Ray Gun Mark III being in zombies, and it was all centered around this chalkboard right here. We saw a gun that we had never seen before, and it kind of looked like a new iteration of the ray gun, and this sparked the idea of the Ray Gun Mark III within the community. Unfortunately, Black Ops 3 came out, and there were no signs of the Ray Gun Mark III anywhere to be found. Then some buddies of mine went to Treyarch, and they saw the very chalkboard that I made the video on, and it turns out that that gun was just concept art.
And there's the board, by the way, that was shown in the trailer back with the Omaze event. That was just concept art.
At that point, my hopes and dreams of a Ray Gun Mark III died. However, they have been resurrected like a phoenix and are rising from the ashes because we have been given new hope by Treyarch of the Ray Gun Mark III. It all stems from this key and this cipher here found on the map Der Eisendrache. When you use the key to decode the message, you will receive the solution. I'm over the site looking down through the open door. I can see your weird distortion below me like a local Aurora Borealis. I would normally cancel the operation, but we don't have time. Luckily, I've taken experimental weaponry version 3 that no one has seen before from my previous missions. Never say never, Peter. I should give credit where credit is due. I first saw the solution to this cipher on the COD Zombies Reddit. However, I believe it was initially discovered on the COD Zombies forum, so link to the original thread that I can find in the description below if you would like to see where this came from and how the cipher was actually solved. It's pretty interesting and very well done. Congratulations to those who have actually completed this cipher. Of course, when you read this, what initially jumps out at you is experimental weaponry version 3, and then that makes my mind immediately jump to the Ray Gun Mark III. Well, let's examine some of the facts and information we have about this cipher in order to better understand if he's talking about the Ray Gun Mark III. Well, this was written by Peter McMahon. You see, he was featured heavily in the early parts of the zombie storyline. He was a member of Group 935, however, he was an American spy sent to sort of gain information about them and then pass it on to the Americans. He worked at the Verrückt facility, however, when it was overrun, he fled to the Shinonuma facility. It was there he met his untimely demise, and we can see him now as the hanging man in Shinonuma. Peter McMahon has a lot of ties to the Wunderwaffe. For example, when you complete the Shinonuma Easter egg on the iOS version of Shinonuma, you can actually get the Wunderwaffe DG2. In addition to that, you can also get the Wunderwaffe on Shinonuma. This was the first map that we ever saw that weapon. So maybe he's actually discussing a newer version of the Wunderwaffe, a Wunderwaffe Mark III. However, I don't think that is the case because we've actually already seen the Wunderwaffe DG3. When you pack-a-punch the Wunderwaffe, you get the Wunderwaffe DG3. He said this is a weapon we've never seen before. Well, we've already seen the Wunderwaffe DG3, so that in my mind makes me think, okay, it probably isn't the Wunderwaffe DG3. Then, could this be a weapon we've never seen before? Well, that's possible, but I think it's something that Treyarch would want to stem from that we've already, why would they show us Mark III if we haven't even seen Mark I or Mark II? So that makes the ray gun the best candidate for this experimental weapon. We've of course already seen concept art for a handheld pistol, drawing back to the chalkboard. They initially wrote it off as just concept art. Well, they can use concept art at any time. They can go back and draw from concept art that's decades old if they really wanted to. Just because the idea wasn't implemented to the initial version of the game doesn't mean it wouldn't be implemented into later DLC. So there is still hope that maybe this drawing on a chalkboard was actually the Ray Gun Mark III, and now they're actually hinting it to us in the form of the cipher, and quite possibly we'll be seeing it in the next iteration of Zombies. Current DLC 2 projections pin us playing on an island known as Pompeii. Let me dispel a common misconception. We are not talking about the famous Pompeii in Italy. This Pompeii is an island with the same name off the coast of Papua New Guinea. We know for a fact they're talking about this island because Treyarch has specifically given us coordinates that lead us to this location. This is where DLC 2 is most likely going to be taking place. Now, this area is technically a part of the regions that Japan controlled during World War II, so it wouldn't be that far-fetched to say that Division 9, a group that we believe is Japanese, actually was working at Pompeii, and this isn't too far from Shinonuma, a Group 935 research facility which we know Division 9 played a hand in. how far-fetched is it to say that somebody working on the Ray Gun Mark III was at the Shinonuma facility where Peter was last found, and then went over to the new island facility we know currently as Pompeii? To me, it seems like all the stars are aligning, and if there was going to be a Ray Gun Mark III, DLC 2 is the place to find it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why I believe we should not give up hope for the Ray Gun Mark III. Treyarch is teasing it once again, and it seems like Pompeii is the best place to find it. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, leave a like and tell me in the comments below your thoughts on this theory. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be covering a bunch of other stuff involving the zombie storyline as well as the upcoming DLC. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. I'm going to go though. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and bye.